So we are finally ready now. The much anticipated matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Super Bowl 37.
We're world champs, baby! Give me this! Give me this!
They come to catch another shit. Cannons like the loaded, so it's time to flip the script. Cruising through the bay on that Buccaneer battleship, sold up, screaming out, so buck what you heard. So buck what you heard. So buck what you heard. So buck what you heard.
Okay, welcome to another edition of Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. You follow me, I will follow you back. I am joined by my co-host, Ken Barrett, not to be mistaken for Shaq Barrett, just as good. Glad to have him on the team. How you doing tonight?
I'm great, but I could be even better if they signed Shaq Barrett to a long-term deal.
That would be the difference maker right there, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, you know, and it's crazy. We are so close to the regular season. It just blows my mind just kind of where we are.
1 week.
Now, if you kind of go back to May, were you thinking that there was going to be a football season?
Personally, yes. There's just too much money not to. I figured even with once June and July started coming when the whole seat thing was a big issue, I feel like they could have – they did. They navigated. They found different ways to increase revenues. With all the extra advertising, and I'm sure even when we watch a game now, there's going to be more commercials, more advertising than what there probably used to be, even because there's going to be that many more eyes. So they're going to find other ways to make things be at bay for the rest of the season, I think.
So like for you, I know for me, I was pessimistic. I didn't think there was going to be a season. I thought that with everybody doing their own thing, people were like, oh, I'm not going to wear a mask, or I am going to wear a mask. There was nothing concise. We didn't even know 100% what was going on with this particular, with this virus. We didn't know how it was going to affect us. So for a lot of people, me included, I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Yeah, with NFL, playing in college football, that you're basically they have you in the doors for 16 hours a day. It's what you do with the other 8 hour, 10 hours, whatever you have where you're out of the building, where there's those knuckleheads who make those decisions. But when you have millions of dollars on the line, I feel at the end of the day, there's going to be less knuckleheads than there are people who do the right thing. So in the end, I thought it would work out, but the biggest issue the NFL has is if what happened to the Cardinals and the MLB or the Marlins is it takes a team with 6-8 players to expose the other 53.
But the one thing that I will say about the NFL, they've done an amazing job just kind of keeping this, somewhat under wraps, You look at the example, I'm glad you brought that up, the example of the Marlins. The Marlins and the issues that they had, it was like, Jesus Christ. If this is any indication of what the rest of sports is going through, they're off to a bad start. They really are. And so after a while, you're kind of like, man, what is this season really going to happen? But I'm super excited at where we are. And just so much news right now. It's crazy. You look at the NFL as a whole from top to bottom. This league is like bipolar because none of these teams look like the same team that you saw in 2019. They've just like totally switched up. And I think one of the biggest stories right now that could potentially affect the Bucs is the availability of Leonard Fournette. And I want to get your thoughts on that. How do you feel about that? I'll kind of chime in after you, but I'd really like to know what your thoughts are on this.
My biggest thing is it comes down to the money. If he signs from between like 1 and 1.5 million, 1.75 million, I can live with it at the end of the day. But if it gets over 2, 2.5, 3, I feel like that money could have been allocated for a backup pass rusher. Because if Rojo were to go down, McCoy can, hold it down for at least a little bit. But if JPP or Shaq go down, I'm not saying season's over, but that defense is going to be on an island, and with all the man coverage that Bowles likes to play and not having the pass rush help, I think it'd be a sore mistake if they overpay for the services of Fournette.
Right. Well, and, just want to kind of piggyback off what you're talking about here. I know for me, when I look at what they've done in the offseason, Ronald Jones has worked so hard to get where he is, pass blocking, catching, running routes, just everything that he's done to be a better running back, to be the feature back. He's gone out and tried to do that in the offseason. And he's done it, with his own coaching, and, he's motivated to be better. We've seen that from Ronald Jones since day one. I mean, when you had the ex-head coach gave up on him, and I think he got like 23 carries or something that year. Something to that,
yeah.
Something abysmal like that. And then you have this guy who's continued to work and continue to work. He split carries with Peyton Barber. And so you saw the potential. I mean, you've got over 1,000 all-purpose yards just based on what he did with the limited carries he had. This guy,
and with all the yards that were called back too, let's put that into account.
Exactly. You have to add that in there as well, is the things that the yards that were called back on him. So to me, I feel like this is a guy that, he could potentially be something here. And I think when you've invested all that time and energy, Tom Brady is comfortable with him. I think that's the guy you want to go with. Why would you disrupt chemistry to bring somebody new in? I realize he's a talent, but you look at what the Buccaneers have right now, and you look at the cap room that they have. I mean, is this a reasonable move to do this?
Well, I was actually having a back and forth with John Ledyard when we had our technical issues, and we were having a nice little discussion of how this affects Keyshawn Vaughn. Because, I mean, whether Fournette's brought in or not, I think Rojo will have a role carved out for him. Keyshawn Vaughn, they drafted in the 3rd round to basically be that number 2, number 3, to be able to play early given his experience in college playing 4 or 5 years. He's already older than Rojo, so it was supposed to be a seamless transition. And then COVID happens. They bring in McCoy. Okay, I figured he would at least be the number 3, maybe be 53. Like, maybe a game day, whatchamacallit, not dressing, but I just don't know what they really do with Keyshawn. What I was thinking, maybe he's still not active on the 53 or 45 for game day, but it's not looking bright for him. And
one thing that you have to keep in mind too, this young man is a rookie, regardless of his age or whatever. It takes a little bit to catch up to the speed of the game. I mean, he had no control over where he was drafted. And I look at his level of talent. I think that his talent could translate to the NFL. For some people, it takes a little bit longer than others to get up to speed. We saw that with Vita Vea. We saw that with, and I know I'm talking only defense here, but Devin White. But once they figured out the speed of the game, I mean, it was a totally different story. Alex Kappa is another example. I know a lot of people don't like Alex Kappa, but when you don't hear his name mentioned on the offensive line, that means he's doing something right.
And then you hear people like Raheem Nunez-Roches come out during his press conference and rave about how much he's improved, but specifically with his body. I mean, I've always looked at him as like, the fat Thor, but in a positive way. But now he's supposed to be a little bit more chiseled out, a little bit more muscle on him, a little less, in the midsection, which for an offensive lineman, if he can maintain his weight and turn some fat into muscle, that's all you can really want out of him. And that's just going to make him more durable, more powerful, and be able to move people around, which he was already effective with doing.
Yeah, exactly. And again, that's to me one of the more important things right there, is that you have consistency. You have cohesion along that offensive line. They're playing as a unit. They're not playing as individual players. And I think that's something that kind of gets missed by a lot of people, is that's what you want. You want your squad to play as a squad. You don't want that one guy that stands out above everybody else, but you want them to be able to do what they need to do, whether it's opening holes for the running game or pass protection for your quarterback, keeping your quarterback upright. So
yeah, both lines, consistency is the key.
Consistency is the key. It's huge. So, it's just going to be one of those things to see how this all works out. And, I'm not and guys, I am not against if Leonard Fournette ended up as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, I'm not going to be upset and pissed off about it. It's a good move. It's a good move. And if the if your coaching staff thinks this is the guy we need in here, then boom, that's what you need. But I think you have some commodities, commodities in Ronald Jones, and I believe, they have a squad right there. They have the running backs, but again, you bring him in and he can help this team win. That's all that matters. At the end of the day, it's wins and losses. It's not the personality on the field. It's wins and losses, and winning as a team or losing as a team.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm kind of looking through the chat here. Neil L, what's going on, Neil L? Adam Davies, shout out to Bucks UK. I was on their show earlier today, and great show. They have great content. You can find them on. You can actually find them on YouTube, and it's a great follow. They have a great show. The one thing that I appreciate about our friends across the pond is, they love the team, but they're very smart about it, and they go through and do their research. So, you talk to somebody from, over in the UK or actually over in Europe, they love football. The people that do love football as much as we do here in the United States. So, it's great to follow them. Adam Davies is a great follow on Twitter. If you get a chance to, again, they're really great. So, that's, I appreciate them. So for you, here we are, we're about a week away, and, I'm just kind of wondering, as we talk about the possible battles, what battles are you aware of right now? As far as roster spots, anything out sticks out to you right now?
Well, right now, with this whole Fournette situation, will be the running back room. But if we're going to focus on other positions, I think that number 3 wide receiver position, whoever loses out between Justin Watson and Scotty Miller, they're still going to be on the roster. But I think they're going to get a lot more playing time than people realize. And a lot of people are already talking about Scotty Miller basically being the next GOAT. Shout out to Sammer and all them. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Justin Watson. Apparently, he's clocked over 20 miles per hour in practices. The dude lost 10 pounds. He's 6'3", 6'4". He's going to be able to play on the outside as well as Scotty Miller. And I think those two have just apparently been blow for blow trying to win that number 3 spot.
Yeah. So I guess my next question is, with the rookie class, because we didn't have OTAs, we didn't have camp, we didn't have anything. Are there any rookies that you're aware of, despite Winfield? Let's keep Winfield out of the situation. Other than Winfield, is there anybody rookie that you're looking at as the rookies that's kind of stood out to you, that solidified a place for themselves?
It's kind of hard for a lot of them to try to carve out a role, especially Tyler Johnson's been injured. He was, right. But I love both him and Winfield coming out of Minnesota, and to see him kind of struggling the way he is to stay healthy. It puts his number
for concern.
Yeah, it's a huge cause for concern. In fact, I'm kind of at the point now, I think the Bucs should just IR him. I've even talked to Greg Allman about this on Twitter, that it might just be the best thing for them to be able to do it. There was a concern, NFL changed their rules about how players can be on IR, but now basically we're past the threshold. I believe it was like last Saturday, where teams can designate someone for IR should they have an injury, and he's obviously having a reoccurring injury that's affecting his performance.
Yeah, there you go. And again, there are just so many out there. I've heard good things about Tristan Wirfs. I've heard, from watching the press conferences, from listening to some of the people that have actually got to go out to camp, just what a good job he's done. I had very low expectations for him coming in because he is a rookie, and you don't want to put your rookie up here. You want to, if they do get to that place where they're playing at a high level, that's a pleasant surprise. But for the most part, you want them to be able to work towards their getting, as I mentioned this a lot, the speed of the NFL. Because when you think about it, you may play against one or two or maybe three teams at the most that have elite talent that you go up against. But when you're coming into the NFL as a rookie, everybody's good. And so, when you think about that, some rookies, it takes them a little bit longer to get around to where they need to get to. But I think that with the level of talent that Tristan Wirfs has that I've gotten to watch, I think that it was a good pick. I'm glad he's a Buck, and I think that he will continue to improve. If, a lot of the issues that they bagged him for were coachable issues. These are things that he can learn and get better and improve and be just as good. So definitely something to look forward to.
Yeah, not only that, but with him, if he's not starting week 1, I don't think Buck fans should freak out either. He's someone that you don't want him to, struggle too much early, especially with Tom Brady. The Bucs are trying to build momentum. They know what they have in Haig. Haig can, start a game or two. Let Tristan, get his feet under him. But from what I hear, he's going to be the starter week 1. And I think we should just pencil him in for at least the time being.
Yeah. And again, don't freak out. I think that he's a talent, and I believe that he will catch up with the speed of the game, and he'll be just fine.
Yeah, he was the only offensive tackle I didn't think was going to be there for the Bucs. And at the end of the day, he was worth the extra 4th round pick to trade up one spot for.
I agree, and I think that we will see that, as we move forward, in years to come. I believe that he will definitely be that guy that fits in. I believe his talent does translate from the college level to the NFL level, so definitely somebody to look forward to.
Yeah, to hit on the other rookies real quick. So Khalil Davis, from everything I read, he makes splash plays. He's not showing the consistency yet, but he's like a little baby Gerald McCoy, basically a one gap, go upfield kind of guy. He's got that quick twitch, so that's good for him. Chappelle Russell might make the team as a 4th or 5th linebacker, so he better show out on special teams because that's how he's getting that spot. And Raymond Calais, I'm actually kind of worried about because he's not getting a lot of return reps. He's getting gunner reps, which we're already seeing different corners that are taking that position, like Parnell Motley, because they need to find a way to get him on the roster too, because he has had himself an off season, let me tell you.
Absolutely. Yeah, from everything I've seen. This is going to be a very frustrating season for everybody because the rookies didn't get a chance to get the opportunity to show what they can do in OTAs or camp. They didn't really get an opportunity. They haven't been given that legitimate opportunity like you see in normal seasons. This is so weird, just kind of what you're seeing. And then, when you talk about COVID, you look at the fact that you've got you've got scouts that can't go to other teams and, scout. I mean, this is just going to be a very weird season just in itself.
Well, yeah, you can't scout the preseason games for those extra players. Like when you get like Carl Nassib and waivers before week 1, it's going to be a lot harder to find those guys.
Yeah, most definitely. So, I know that we were
expecting that call.
Yeah, that's what I was checking on right now. But and I'll let you go ahead and are you writing for anybody right now by any chance?
No, I want to get back into the podcasting game. I think it's where not where like all the money's at, but a lot more creativity, and unless you write for yourself, there's not really you're struck to whoever your boss is and different things like that. So I love
this is what I really appreciate. Is that, when we do the show, I got autonomy. I can, do whatever I want to do or whatever. I'm perfectly happy with doing it this way. I will be officially working with the Brawl Network. And there is a Bucks Brawl. If you do see Bucks Brawl out there, that is for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we will be doing a lot with them. We will be working with them. You will be able to see these videos on the Brawl Network as well. So definitely something to look forward to. As we're kind of working all the kinks out right here. This is the night that we will be doing this on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Moving through the season as we did last year. This will be our actual time. I know with COVID, with not a lot going on, I've been kind of bouncing around from time to time. But yeah, this will be the time right here from 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. So definitely look forward to that.
Exactly.
So let me check the chat. I'm going to get in the chat. There's a lot going on in the chat. Are you in the chat?
Yeah.
Let's answer some of these questions in the chat here.
Let's do it.
All right. Let me pull that back up here. Sorry, guys. All right. So shout out to Buck Skull Gang in the house. We know he called in last week. Antonio Santiago, what's going on? Okay. Let's see here. Give me a second here. All right, you're live on Buck What You Heard. Who am I talking with? Hey, give me 1 second here. Let me get my, sorry about that. Let me get the audio. I'm so out of sorts today. I don't get it. But give me a second here. Let's see if I can get you on here one more time. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I can hear him too.
Okay, cool. So how are you doing?
Hanging in there, man. Crazy times, but happy to be on and hope you're enjoying some beer.
Okay, here we go. Sorry. I'm sorry.
He doesn't have any beer on him yet.
Yeah, I don't have enough beer. Let me pour a beer real quick. How you doing tonight?
Hanging in there, man.
All right.
Just day by day here in these crazy new times.
Yeah, absolutely. And introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are. And I appreciate you calling in, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, no, happy to that I could join you guys. My name is Matthew Jaware. I'm one of the owners at Bake Hen and Beer Company over in West Tampa on Main Street.
West Tampa, baby.
Hey, yeah, West Side's the best side. We been there about a year now. Full kitchen and just a variety of beers. Starting to get those beers out now in some more volume to local liquor stores, bars, and restaurants. The ones that are open, at least. And yeah, we look forward to having you by.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to do it. So, for you, how did you get started? West Tampa is very historic. I mean, when I think of Tampa, I always think of West Tampa. My son, my dad, myself, we all, came from that area. Growing up, it was, that was the spot. And when I come back, I always think about West Tampa. So, what made you put your brewery there?
I'm not from the area at all. And so when we were beginning our search and looking for inventory that could house our project, it's, the bucket's kind of small. We needed about 4,000 square feet. Mm-hmm. And so we really did look everywhere. I have had no preconceived biases towards any neighborhood in the whole area. We went all the way over to Town and Country. We're in Carrollwood. Looked in Ybor, looked downtown, Seminole Heights, South Tampa. But every time we would drive through West Tampa, there was just a soul there that I thought was different. And the architecture and the buildings, I think, was a big piece of that. There's still a ton of standing cigar factories there, several that still need to be redeveloped. But it's really, really close to downtown, the major urban core here in Tampa. It's just got like you said, it's got a great history. It's got some beer history, actually, too. DeSoto Brewing, shout out to DeSoto Brewing. They were 1937, I think.
Yep.
And then just a lot of cool history there that we've learned along the way, and even in some cases implemented into the brewery. But it was also fit us from an affordability standpoint. We're able to buy a building, which hopefully is a sustainable component to the project. And it's Main Street, man. It's like, who's not supposed to be on Main Street?
That's right, man, and I love it. So, for you, do you have like a beer for the Bucks? Because I'm thinking that you guys may be the official Buck What You Heard beer through the football season.
So what you're drinking Xander right now, right?
Right now, I'm actually drinking a Highlight right now.
Oh, well, what the heck?
We need to fix that, right?
Did Trevor pick some up for you last night?
Yeah, he did. I just haven't gone to get them, but I will get those.
So we make all kinds of beers. Our MO was we just rotate beers all the time. And one of the beers we made was Xander, a hazy IPA.
Uh-huh.
And it flew out of the tap room when we opened. We did a little canning run back around then, and that flew off the shelves. And at that time nobody even really knew who we were, and people were actually getting mad in the tap room if we didn't have it. And so we just kind of said, "Hey, look, I think that the people have spoken," and that is the one and only flagship beer that we currently have.
Nice.
Otherwise, we're all the other beers we make, we're searching for the next one. But there's always something yellow and traditional on, dry hop blondes, creams. We had a British Golden Ale. We've done an amber lager, and then we've always got IPAs, and we've always got some crazy fun stuff. We got milkshake IPAs we steam after cocktails. We have a couple American oak fooders, so we have year-old aged Brett beers in bottle right now that are awesome, and just kind of do a bunch of different stuff.
So are you gonna do one for the Bucks for the season starting, or is that like out of the question?
No, I mean we haven't done anything really like that. There's certainly some copyright issues.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
We had a couple of the people who work over there had their baby shower at the brewery back a few months after we opened, and so we've kept in touch over there, and would love to try to work something out to eventually get beer in there, considering they're technically in the same neighborhood as we are in West Tampa, and Bay Cannon, they fire the cannons, just sort of might be able to find a fit, but a lot of times messing with the NFL and stadiums is playing with big boys. Financially, so we'll have to make our way that way.
Yeah, most definitely. So, as far as football goes, have you adopted Tampa as your team, or are you do you have a team from back home, or what is your football situation?
I'm from Minnesota, so I'm a Vikings fan.
Where in Minnesota?
I'm a football fan than professional football, so I just kind of watch it and enjoy it. I'm a Florida State alumni. I actually walked on and played ball at Florida State, and been a huge fan since I was six years old. My dad went to grad school there, and so I enjoyed watching all the guys that I watched play there go on and play in the NFL, and all the guys that played at Florida, Miami that we watched, every year. That moved on, and when I was really young, I was a huge Cowboys fan, basically just because they got Emmett and Michael Irvin, and I knew who those guys were because I watched them against my team as a child. So I just I'd always cheer for the Vikings and hope they do well, but I'm 41 years old. They've never made it to a Super Bowl in my lifetime. They've never won one ever. So I'm, not that optimistic, to be honest, and just want to watch to enjoy when I watch.
Hey, you do have the Minnesota Miracle, though, when they basically reached into New Orleans' chest and pulled out their heart while it was still
last
beating.
year.
Yeah, the Miracle. That was incredible, an incredible play, and just everything. But I really did enjoy last year a little more when they went down there to New Orleans and just beat them up real good.
Kyle Rudolph,
it was
my
just
man.
really, left no doubt.
Yep, Kyle Rudolph. There's cleat prints all over New Orleans after that.
Yeah, and I'm as a Florida State guy, I'm a huge Jameis fan, so it's unfortunate that he didn't work out here. I still think he's got a bright future. It's going to take some time to learn behind a guy that knows how to throw the ball around a little bit.
Yeah.
But I got to actually see Jameis as a rookie up in Minnesota at a preseason game. We were down there on the field and said what's up, and we just had a newborn at the time.
Yeah.
But obviously having I played receiver, so I love watching this receiving core that they have here, and obviously now with Brady and Gronk joining. I think it'll be a fun year.
It's going to be entertaining
for
sure.
Bucs fans. But too bad there won't be any fans at the stadium, at least for a little bit.
You know what? We can all sit at home and drink beer.
Yeah, or come on over to Bay Cannon Beer Company. It's right in the neighborhood. Yeah. We definitely have the beer. We definitely have the food, and we got the TVs.
Bro, I'll be shouting you guys out, man, on a regular basis. I appreciate you. And this is a funny story. Pat Donovan was giving me grief because, I have everybody has that one beer that they're comfortable with. And they will, if there's nothing else around, you go to that beer you're comfortable with. Everybody has that one.
Yeah.
Or that one drink, whatever it may be. And I know for me, it's just been Cigar City. And, I've tried other beers. I've tried different types of beers. And, I just, okay, that's cool. But I always end up going back to, that beer. But now, just getting to talk to you and, I know I should probably be shouting some of these other beers out because these little guys out there are producing products that are just as good as some of the other people. I know, I don't know, if you were at Florida State when, Budweiser was just dominating everything. And that was in Florida, that was what you could get was Anheuser-Busch or anybody under that umbrella. I remember my father, when we were in Fort Riley, we were living in Fort Riley, Kansas. My father would get cases of beer and put them in the car, and we would drive to Tampa. And he would drop them off at the ice house right over there in West Tampa. There used to be this old ice house. He'd drop them off, and he would walk out of the ice house with a wad full of money. And I could never figure out what he was doing. I didn't realize that, my dad's all religious now, but I didn't realize my dad was bootlegging beer, bringing beer from because Coors, you can't bring Coors at the time that we were doing that. Coors was illegal in Florida, period.
Oh, that's great.
It was illegal.
Why?
It was a great. Don't let the era of craft beer fool you. Budweiser still has a hammer down in the state of Florida, legally, legislatively, lobbyist-wise. Don't let the rise of the rest of us fool you. We're still getting oppressed, and we're working on that, on a pretty regular basis. But it is definitely different than it used to be. No doubt.
And Ken, I don't know if you know this, but that's how it was. Anything east of the Mississippi, you couldn't bring Coors anything east of the Mississippi. It would be considered bootlegging.
Interesting. No, is there a reason why?
Yuengling, couldn't get Yuengling west of it.
Exactly. Yuengling could not go west of the Mississippi.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what you need to watch?
Weird.
You need to watch Smokey and the Bandit. Old movie.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh my goodness!
This guy was bringing Coors beer across. He's bringing Coors beer east of the Mississippi, and it was considered illegal. He was bootlegging beer at that time, and that's what that was all about.
Pops is a legend.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So awesome. That's your homework.
There's a lot of good beers out there, man. There's Cigar City is by Florida and Tampa standards. They are the standard. And
but I don't want to take anything away from anybody else.
Highlight was the first real IPA that a lot of people, first real American IPA that a lot of people in this area ever had. And so that's going to create a memory, and that's really part of eating and drinking does that. It's going to create a memory and be a fixture for those who that were when that was the first. I remember the first time I had a New Era IPA beer was Half Acre. It's a pale ale from a brewery in Chicago, and I thought to myself, "What in the world is this? This is very different." And yeah, man, they're awesome. But there are a bunch of great new breweries out there too, and some that have been around, since Cigar City in the last 5 years, and then we all learn from each other. We all learn from each other. We all follow trends and try to make the next best thing and try to make something that was done previously better. And that's part of the fun. And
so do you guys get to collab?
Trying to always make better beer.
Do you ever collaborate with other breweries?
We haven't yet. We did when before our place was open. We did. We had a couple small collaborations with an awesome little tiny brewery over on Central Avenue in St. Pete called Right Around the Corner. It's an arcade bar and brewery, and we knew those guys, and so we did a couple batches with them just to mess around. And then as we were getting going, and we had a bunch of them planned before COVID happened. So,
yeah, COVID
we were only
like
everything. 7 months old before the shutdown.
But you guys right now, you're doing okay. They haven't shut everything down. You guys are still in a good situation right now, correct?
Well, I would say that it's dicey, but we're taking it month by month, and the reality is that we still just need customers to support, and they are doing a great job with that. But less people are going out now than before, and we're at 50% capacity, so we kind of have this ceiling. So we're getting creative. We're starting to distribute beer and trying to get beer to people where people are. Patterns are changed. Times are different. This is the way it goes.
Yeah, you got to be innovative.
People's businesses in our world have been disrupted, and so we're trying to find the new path forward. And so far so good. So we'll see what happens.
Man, Matt, I promise you, I've got to get you on again as much as I can. I'm excited about your story, man. I really want to see your company succeed. Tampa to me is the jewel of Florida. I've always said that, and I know people give me grief about it because I'm biased, but I love Tampa. I just do. So I would love to have you on again and just be able to kind of chop it up a little bit, talk football, talk a little bit of beer, and see what kind of new beers you have coming out. But you are a friend of the show, and I really appreciate you being able to come on.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy that our paths crossed, and definitely let me know what you think of Xander when you have that. Might not be putting highlight back in your mouth anymore. That's the
there
hope
you
anyway.
go, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. All right, brother. Thank you so much for calling in.
Next time. All right, my man. Thank you.
And that was Matt from the Bay Cannon Brew Company, beer company. Listen to me. Thank you so much for calling in, and we can appreciate that. I'm very happy, and I will definitely be checking that out. Kind of get back to the NFL now. I know that my guy Buck Skullgang in the house is still wanting to know news on Leonard Fournette. I personally haven't heard anything other than I know that the Bucs are interested, and that's about as far as I know, right now where we are. We'll just kind of have to sit back and wait and see what happens. And, I say this all the time, the Bucs roster is fluid, so anything is possible.
Yeah, and I noticed that Rick Stroud already threw up an article. So, I mean, that tells me that the interest is still there. But I don't think anything's coming anytime soon. Maybe we'll hear by morning because remember the whole COVID waiting 72 hours essentially before you can even be in the building. So even if he does sign, he's not even going to be until the weekend.
So let me ask you this: how does the whole physical thing work? When they go to get a physical, how does that work in COVID?
Well, so essentially they have to go get tested, and they basically go to the facility, get tested 3 consecutive times, once each every other day. So that's why it took so long to bring Suckup in.
Right.
So it takes 3, 4, 5 days before a player can actually get in the building for a tryout, for a physical. Because I think the NFL is mandated is 3 passes before they can enter a facility.
Now, would you say this could be part of the reason why the NFL has been successful with the whole COVID-19 thing, because of how they're testing people? Is that part of it? I know
Not
they had
just
the whole,
that.
I know they had the whole false positive thing, but I think since they've gotten past that, I haven't really heard of any news as far as where the NFL players are with all this.
Yeah, no, I was actually reading something by Jenna Lane, I think like a week or 2 ago, where she was basically going over, they have these like cool little passes where basically if they're within 6 feet of another reporter or another person, it starts beeping. And like it's really cool. So that's how they're able to maintain social distancing. And they also have different levels of access for different people. So like Scott Reynolds, Stroud, Almond, all those kind of people have, I think, like level 2 priority access. But then like, their coworkers or anything like that, or like level 3, 4. So like they can't even be within like 50 or 100 feet of the field, like during practices. It's pretty cool how they're able to do all that. And I've seen the big thing on Hard Knocks is the face scanning technology to basically get your temperature and do all that. Like that's just
how
nuts.
accurate. How accurate is that really?
Supposedly pretty darn accurate. I even read something where basically, when you go into an airport and you go like that and it does the swoop around you. Apparently in Japan, they were doing like prototypes on like different things where they can like sanitize you and like do all that. It's crazy, the technology that's out there. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know but I just know that the NFL is hoping to get like 24-hour tests through soon, especially like before the season starts. So if someone were to get it,
don't you concern yourself with accuracy though?
Yeah, and that's why I think they do the whole three positive or negatives before you can enter, just out of safety.
Yeah, 100%. So, kind of going through here. Will the Brewer, what's going on, man? Hopefully everything's all right. Tall FL guy, how you doing? Neil L. I'm sorry. Neil L gives me grief when I don't acknowledge that he's in the chat. Neil L in the house. What's up, man? Let's see. I don't think I'm missing anybody else here, but yeah, this is just real crazy that this is the time we're living in right now. I know we had talked about this, and I really, let me actually get to my screen here because I would like to go over this. I'm actually in a pick'em league, and I wanted to do this. I mean, it's a little bit different than what everybody else is doing, but I'm going to go down some of the games that we're going to be seeing the first week of the NFL and just kind of get your thoughts on who you like, who you think that, who you think is going to win. So the first game on the list is the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs.
I wonder which one I'm going to pick. Chiefs, I got Chiefs by 10.
Oh, wow. There we go. Chicago, Detroit, and this is a division game right here.
Chicago, Detroit. It is at Detroit. See, I need to know the Bears QB situation before I can pick. I'm just going to assume it's.
You know what? You know what messed the Bears up? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Mitch Trubisky, 5 TDs.
Swear to God, if Trubisky hadn't thrown for 9,000 yards that game, you would have a good bearing on what kind of quarterback he is. But because people saw that game, that one breakout game that he had. We have a caller here. Hold on 1 second.
Let's hear it.
Hey, thanks for calling in. Who am I talking with?
Hello.
Hey.
What's up, man?
Hey, not too much. How you doing? Who are we talking with?
Bucks go again in the house.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up?
I told you a couple weeks ago the Bucks wanted. Man, I know before the draft, Bucks did offer Jags a third-round pick. The Jags turned it down. Now to this day, the Bucks was interested until 3 hours later.
Well, let me ask you this. So what do you do with the rest of the running backs that you have in camp right now? Yeah, you still there? Uh-oh, I think I lost him. Did I lose you?
Yeah.
All right, well, call back in, man. I'd definitely love to continue that conversation right there. I'll let him call back in. But, we were talking about the Chicago Lions game. You're right. You're 100% spot on, man. What do you do? What do you do, in a situation like this where you have Mitch Trubisky and he's going up against who's the quarterback that they just got in? They just resigned
Nick Foles.
I'm thinking I'm giving Nick Foles a nod.
Well, he's got familiarity with the system, and him and Nagy go way back to Philly and stuff. So I think he's going to start.
Yeah, I don't see how you pass that up. I mean, if you look at Mitch Trubisky and what he's done, I don't really see him having improved his situation in any way. And maybe it may take a change of scenery for him to get to where he really needs to be.
Which is why I'm picking the Lions by 3, depending on hopefully Stafford's actually healthy this season.
Stafford is healthy. Okay, here we go. He's calling back in again. Okay, you're back on with Buck. What you heard? Who am I talking with? Buck Skull Gang, you there?
Yeah, I'm back now.
All right. So back to my question for you. What do you do with the rest of the running backs if you bring Leonard Fournette in?
But look, you guys, he's the game changer. He's a game changer.
Okay.
Fournette?
Because we can have all 3 backs. We can have Fournette, Rojo 1, Fournette at 2, Shady at 3.
Okay. And then you just basically cut Ogunbowale and whoever.
Dari ain't getting cut. I'm telling you that right now.
Say what?
Dari ain't getting cut.
Practice squad, you guys. Have you guys heard of the 60-man practice squad?
So is Dari, is he eligible for practice squad?
Well, any player this year only is eligible for practice squad. They'd have to agree to it though, and they wouldn't. They could still get picked up by other teams.
Yeah,
because they have to get cut and clear waivers in order to get on the practice squad.
We'll get back what I was saying earlier. Buck, what you heard. Remember what I was saying earlier? The Bucks did offer a 3rd-round pick to Jacksonville Jaguars before the offseason. During the offseason, the Jags declined the deal because that's when we drafted Keyshawn Vaughn. After that. Okay, Jags, you declined the offer, right? We did that. We got Keyshawn Vaughn. A couple weeks down the road, after the draft, free agency comes. Later down free agency, we get LaShawn McCoy. Okay. Couple week later, Rojo. Now we get. What was your thoughts when you heard the report that Leonard Fournette might be coming to the Bucs? What was your thoughts when you heard the news broke?
Oh, when I heard the news broke, I honestly believe that it's all about, who you're compatible with. I look at who Tom Brady's been working with in the offseason. I look who he's comfortable with, and I think that plays a huge factor in it as well, is who your quarterback is comfortable with, who he's willing to put the ball to, and that plays a big factor into it as well.
Fournette is a better Fournette can catch. He's a better catching back. He's improving. He's been to an AFC Championship game. It has been proven.
He had one. I mean, what has he done since that AFC Championship game? Because last I saw, I believe it was a 4 yards per carry.
But here's the thing: in the Bucs offense, if you look this coming season, he could be something special.
And
remember what we did with Shaq Barrett? Hey guys, remember what happened to Shaq Barrett? No, but nobody knew who Shaq Barrett was.
Well, I knew who Shaq Barrett was, and I knew who he played behind as well. But that's because I try to keep up with other teams in the NFL other than just the Bucs. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. Last year he played 15 games. He made it through 15 games. So I think
okay, then here we go. But look at this. If we do get Leonard Fournette, because how about this? If we do get Fournette, who wins the starting running back? Because we're 1 week away from training from regular season. Next Sunday,
Rojo.
All week they're going to be practicing. Then next Rojo Jones, City McCoy, they're going to be battling for number 1 spot. It's going to be one hell of a battle. Think Rojo? I heard Rojo keep dropping balls.
Man, he had that one day. He had that one Sunday. I believe it was a Sunday, and he dropped some balls. But I mean, if you go out and look at how many balls he's dropped in his career,
as a Bucs fan, we are Bucs fans here.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm just being honest. When you look at
hello,
can you hear us?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear us?
Oh,
hope I have. I think we lost him again.
That's what you heard.
Hey, can you hear it? You there? Okay, try to call back in. Give me and then we'll try to get you back on. But when he'll call back in.
Yeah.
When I look at Ronald Jones and I look at his percentages, his completion percentages, he's not a bad pass catcher. I do not know where that knock against him comes from.
No, it's a narrative that people use for fantasy just because when they look at stats, I mean, that's what they play, or that's what is the easiest thing to pull up is his lack of catches. Well, Cutter never trusted him, and he was on a leash pretty much, I would probably say half to 3/4 of the season last year before he was able to be given more opportunities to be the feature back. And and that's also with Jameis just being more of a downhill passer. He's not check down Charlie like Tom Brady is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's opportunities there. I mean, Nick Foles was giving Fournette a lot of passes to catch last year, and that's why Fournette's getting drafted early in fantasy rounds this year is because he led the entire NFL in touches last year, and that's over Christian McCaffrey. That's the only reason why he was relevant in terms of yards caught and on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, think about this. There were 40 targets last year for Ronald Jones and 31 receptions. His rookie season, he had 9 targets and 7 receptions. I mean, I don't know.
What more can you ask for giving those snaps?
Okay, hold on. He's calling back in. Hold on one second. Okay, you're back on with Buck What You Heard. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right, so I'll let you finish what you were talking about.
Yeah, but what we were saying, look, if we do get Leonard Fournette, would Rojo be number 1 still? Because we'll just get what? Do you guys think Fournette is better than?
It's all about It's all about familiarity. It's all about how this is going to translate into the game. It's all about wins and losses this year, my friend. The Bucks, and let me complete what I was saying here. It's all about wins and losses. And you have familiarity between Ronald Jones and Tom Brady. If there's a time where there's a drop-off in production from a Ronald Jones, I can see Fournette coming in and, or at least competing. I don't see how you could just bring him in. Okay.
Remember, no brisket, no risk yet. No risk, no brisket.
Yep, he didn't really show a whole lot of that last year, though. To be honest,
it's all talk.
But this is the Bucs offense. This is BA. Who's calling the shots? Is it Tom Brady or Bruce Irvin?
Yeah,
who's calling the shots here?
Hey, Tom Brady.
I think it's Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians is that guy, man. That's the guy that's
not Tom. Not Tom Brady.
So, from what I hear, Tom Brady is calling the shots. He's getting the ball out within 2 or 3 seconds on 90% of the plays.
I'm looking at Tom Brady. But, guys, do you think the Bucs would trade a running back if we have to?
I don't think anyone would offer anything.
I really don't. I don't know. Again, this is going to be a unique situation right here. I do not. And let me say this.
How about Alvin Kamara? Baby?
They ain't trading him within the division.
Alvin Kamara is not leaving the New Orleans Saints.
And they ain't giving him to the Bucs.
You can book that right there. He's not leaving the New Orleans Saints. I think that was all talk. That was all posturing. I think you see him you see him on the first game of the season against the Bucs. You will see Alvin Kamara facing the Bucs.
How about this? You know what we could do? See 2 LSU running backs go head to head. Alvin Kamara versus Leonard Fournette. That would be one matchup to see.
It's going to be Alvin Kamara versus Ronald Jones.
Yeah, and again, you would have to come in. You can't just bring Leonard Fournette in into a new system and just automatically just plug him in.
Well, if he's signed tonight, he can't even be in the building till Sunday or Monday at the earliest.
Do you guys believe in the no brisket, no risk it?
I don't think
but
Bruce Arians
you're not
play
being
calling.
You're not being realistic right now. I mean, if you think that you can just bring Leonard Fournette in from Jacksonville,
it ain't Madden,
and bring him into Tampa, he doesn't know the system. He doesn't know the playbook, and you're going to plug him in and have him start game 1. That's just not realistic.
Can he learn in 1 week?
No.
Can he learn?
Even the smartest players, Tom Brady probably even took a month or two just to even get everything down. Granted, that's the quarterback, but that's a lot to ask of anyone, let alone someone like him.
Buck Richard, remember I told you the Bucks was going to. Remember I told you a couple weeks ago. Remember you told me the Bucks was not going to get Fournette. Remember you told me that.
Yep.
And I told you the Bucks could get him.
Yeah, but again, and I kind of go back to my point. Ronald Jones has earned that number one running back position. He earned it. I mean, just based on his productivity. Now, I got a question for you. Why is the Bucks getting Fournette? And that's the thing. Answer my question. Why would the Bucks get Fournette if Rojo not the answer? And can you answer that?
Insurance.
Why would the Bucks bring Fournette in? Why?
Insurance.
If you go back to 2016, 2017, and even 2018, the Bucks have not had a consistent running game going back to 2015 with Doug Martin. Am I correct?
Yep, tremendous.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been doing running back by committee. You haven't had consistent productivity out of the running back position since 2015. So of course it would, if it's possible to bring somebody like that in, you bring them in and give them a look. But you're not just going to hand the keys over to the car to somebody just because you brought them in based on them going to the AFC Championship game. You can't do that. That's not realistic.
But is that how we brought Shaq Barrett in? Only reason we brought him in because it's like the same thing. You guys know brisket.
Did you watch Shaq Barrett's game film in Denver? In Denver? Did you see him? Did you see him in the preseason games? Did you see what he's done? And you got to consider who he was behind and never getting an opportunity to play.
You're bummed, and that's true.
Exactly. But, so all I'm saying is he earned, and Shaq Barrett earned that position. That position was not handed to him.
He was not even named a starter when he signed.
We should start on the kicking game, the kicking competition we have in Tampa Bay right now. The kicking competition.
Mark it down. I think Matt Gay is your starter week 1. Mark it down.
Okay.
I'm like 60-40 there.
You know what? I honestly believe that this is a motivational tactic, but I believe that Matt Gay is your guy. I think he'll be fine. Once they get the season going, I think he'll be just fine. So I'm not super concerned about that.
I have a question for you, but if Leonard Fournette had down to 2 towards you think Leonard Fournette going to choose the Patriots over the Buccaneers? You honestly, opinion though. What do you think?
It just depends on his situation. It depends on where he's going to get the most exposure at. This is a guy that, he's been, he was released from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's looking for a big contract somewhere. So he's going to go to a team that's going to give him exposure to where he can actually go out there and show what he can do.
But here you go. Here's this though. You're not going to win in New England this year. You might as well bring your talent to Tampa Bay. Might as well bring a chance for Super Bowl. This is a win-now mode.
Yeah,
I think that's why the Bucs.
Again, it takes two. It takes two. It's not one side or the other. It takes two.
The coach and the players.
There you go, my friend. You've got it. Well,
hey, what's you really putting? You think the Bucs will try bringing Fournette to make Rojo better? You think that's what they're trying to get competition going?
Realistically, I kind of going back to my original thought. I mean, you've got your running backs in house right now, and you've got running backs that the coaches are comfortable with, and I've always felt like they're good there, and you've got that cohesiveness. But again, if they do bring Leonard Fournette in, here's a guy that will be competing for playing time, and that's kind of how that'll go.
Thunder and lightning. Look at this, Rojo and Fournette. Thunder and lightning.
There you go.
And I guess Thunder can be. Oh yeah.
Yeah. There you.
Leonard, be Rojo.
Yep. Maybe. There you go, man.
Lightning can be. That's. I was just wondering.
All right. Well, hey.
I've been looking.
Hey, thanks for calling in. And again, you're always welcome to call in. Try to give somebody else a chance to call in as well.
Okay. I've been on Twitter, man, looking for some updates, man. I'm trying to request for Twitter every second, man. No updates yet.
Yep. Keep us informed, brother.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. And that was one of our longtime listeners in there, Buck Skull Gang in the house. And, as we mentioned before, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. If it happens, it's good. If it doesn't happen, it's just as good. I'm not really tripping one way or the other. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
To touch on his last point that he was making, that would Fournette coming in bring competition for Rojo? If it happened a month ago, I'd say yes. But I don't know if a lot of Bucs fans even know training camp's technically over now.
Right.
Cuts are on Saturday. Right now, it's game planning for Week 1. So if he comes in, he's got to learn the playbook and then just show that he knows it just to get some snaps in Week 1.
Yeah, definitely.
There's nothing that's guaranteed to him, and if he does sign, I bet that it's not a guaranteed contract or only partially guaranteed.
Yeah, because I think he would be competing with Shady for playing time. That's my personal opinion.
Exactly, Shady and like maybe goal line or something.
Yeah. And Will the Brewer, what's going on? Kamara benefits a lot from blocking the backs that he wouldn't get with the Bucs.
True.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Don't even get me started on that. But I want to kind of get back to the sports the Pick'em League here, and then I was going to hit you with the because I do have the hot seat questions. Oh man, and now I just lost Ken. Golly. This is the adventures of going live. But for me, I guess one of the bigger games, one of the big games that we were kind of looking at is the Jets and Buffalo Bills. Me personally, I like the Bills. I like the Bills to do something. So let me see if I can get Cam back on here. I do like the Bills in that game against the Jets. I still haven't seen the Jets really do anything to put themselves in a position to succeed. So this is going to be one of those things where they're going to have to put in some work, to actually make a move. Tom Brady is gone from the division, so I guess realistically the division's kind of wide open right there. Let's see if I can get him back on here. If not, I will. We don't want to lose him, so. Yeah, give me a second, and we'll get Cam back on here and get this back rolling again. Say waiting to join. So we'll try to get him back on here. What's really cool about the NFL this year is they're doing a lot of division games, first game out of the gate, and we all know if you're a football fan, you know how important the division games are. And what the division games mean as you are trying to actually get to the playoffs. So definitely one of those things that you really have to keep your eye out for to kind of see what happens. And welcome back, Ken. Thank you for jumping back in there. So
no worries.
I was talking about the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets game. What are your thoughts on that game? I like the Bills. I'm personally, I love the Bills Mafia. I think those guys are crazy. They're insane, but they make it fun. I like what the Bills have done in the offseason, and I like how consistent they've stayed. I think the Bills are one of the teams that I see that could unseat the New England Patriots.
I 100% agree. I love that defense. And I expect big things. Obviously, we're both Ed Oliver fans.
Yeah.
But they have a great secondary and a really good young linebacker and a couple, secondary linebackers that are decent as well. But to me, it all comes down to Josh Allen. They got to live through what Bucs fans have lived through. It's that quarterback who's prone to interceptions and bad decisions.
Yeah. Josh Allen is a blessing and a curse, kind of like Jameis Winston was. And that's kind of what you got to deal with, Is he that guy that puts you in a position to win or not? I think that, if they can get him on the right path, I think he can definitely do some things. T. Smitty said, Josh Allen can't hit the ocean if he's standing in it.
I was a big fan. He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
Okay, Green Bay and Minnesota. Who are you liking? What's your thoughts on this one here?
See, it's in Minnesota, which makes it interesting.
Yeah.
But I'll take the upset special of Aaron Rodgers in Week 1. I think it's going to be the Devontae Adams show. If you're a fantasy owner,
I'm taking Minnesota just to be safe.
I mean, Minnesota's
like
the
that?
safe pick, but I love it because Minnesota is like my second team now. So I mean, like, I would think they can win, and I think they're the safe bet. But if you're going to live a little bit, I think this is the one I'm going to choose.
Really? Okay. So you got Green Bay. Okay, so we're kind of split on this one. I got Minnesota.
Yep.
All right. So then the next game, Carolina versus the Oakland Raiders.
See, I think a lot of people are reading too much into the Raiders. But wait, that's in Carolina, so that makes it a little bit more interesting. I think Carolina is just too many new pieces on offense and defense, so I'm just I'll take the Raiders, but by a field goal.
All right, I'm kind of with you. As much as I think Carolina is not going to be as bad as people think they are, I do have to go with Oakland as a team that, they have chemistry. They've all played together, so yeah, absolutely. Okay. Another division game here. Is it the Ravens versus the Browns? I got the Ravens.
I got the Ravens too, but I just feel like, again, I wouldn't actually pick the Browns, but I think the Browns have more of a chance than people give them credit for. They don't really have to travel far, so it's not like that's the big issue. I think if they can get that Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb game going, that it's just going to be a pound and ground fest, and then it's going to be a one-score game.
The Bucs not getting Nick Chubb really still annoys me to this day.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started on that.
I really wanted Nick Chubb in a Bucs uniform.
I think he would have been a great replacement for Ronald Jones, for Doug Martin.
Yeah, absolutely. At that time, absolutely. So, so what do you think? You gonna take the upset special and grab the Browns?
I mean, the Ravens. I'm not saying they're gonna go 16-0, but I think they have the best chance to win 13 or 14 games this year.
Yeah, and when you look at what they've done in the trenches, you can't bet against them week one.
Yeah, Marshall Yonda is the one piece that they're gonna miss, but I mean, I think they got enough.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so you got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the football team.
Oh, this is the one I love. If you are playing fantasy football and you like streaming defenses and quarterbacks, you should definitely take the Eagles because that defense is going to wreak havoc against one Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if Haskins isn't shell shot, he will be after this game. Yeah, I've got Philadelphia.
I got him by 2 touchdowns minimum.
Go. Next game, Seattle Seahawks versus the Atlanta Falcons.
The Falcons always find a way to win a game like that at home, and Seattle just drops ducks. So I'm going to give Atlanta the win there.
I do have Seattle on this one here.
That would if I didn't choose Green Bay as my earlier upset special, would have been that one.
Yeah, I like what Seattle's done in the offseason. I love their defense. Their defense is scary good. And you look at Adams coming over to the Seahawks. He's happy. He's buying into that defense. Russell Wilson is 100% healthy. You have to look at the Seattle Seahawks as the front runners here.
100% agree.
All right. Before we jump, I'm going to get back over to the chat. Guys, I'm not ignoring you, I promise. Zach Jarvis, excuse me, sorry. 813-358-8154. If you do want to call in, brother, you can call in, and we'll get you on live. Seeing the Bucs are heavily interested in Leonard Fournette. How y'all feel about that if we grab him? We had a whole segment about that, bro. Sorry, I know you came in late, but we actually had a whole segment about that. I'm good either way. I'm good either way.
Yeah, as long with me, it comes down to the money.
Yeah. But for me, it comes down to if this guy comes in and earns that position, I'm 100% good with that. T. Smitty, I think we talked about it. Can't hit the ocean if he's standing in it. And we talked about Alvin Kamara. Keep Rojo. Will the Brewer, what's going on? Will the Brewer keep Rojo number 1 until he gets beat out? That's how football should be. If your guy is good, then your guy plays. If your guy is not good, your guy doesn't play. This team needs to be put in a position where they win, and that's what it's all about, right there, wins and losses. And I can't stress that enough. Will the Brewer was asking about the kicking competition. As I mentioned before, Matt Gay is my guy. I'm rolling with Matt Gay on into the season. I think that situational football will be different this year. You're not having to play on a short field, or you're not having to worry about turnovers on a regular basis. I think we are looking at something totally different than what we saw 2019. You kind of have to close your eyes and wipe your eyes a little bit and open them up and look at the 2020 season for what it is, a totally unique season compared to other things. What are your thoughts?
100% agree. And with the whole Matt Gay, Ryan suck up thing, suck up to me has to be perfect. I mean, if he's perfect every practice, then yeah, he'll get the job. But Matt Gay has the leash, and it's his job to lose at this point.
Yep, there you go. I'm 100% with you. I believe that, he shakes off that rookie rust, and I think he's just fine. I don't think that the Bucs put him in a position where he has to kick 500 field goals or be put in a position to where he's got to do this. He's just got to go out there and focus and do his job, and he'll be just fine. That's kind of what it all boils down to is productivity and just how he does. So I'm not worried about it. I think T. Smitty says Derek Carr will complete 70% of his passes, but he will throw a check down on 4th and 10.
Have you seen the play where Derek Carr on 4th and game throws the ball out of bounds?
Yes, I see. But bro, again, Marcus Mariota is waiting in the wings. He is waiting in the wings.
Guy for John Gruden from 5 to 15 yards. That's all John wants, man.
Yep, that's all he wants. So we will see what happens. I believe it was the Bucs at Saints week 1 a few years ago when 90% of my survival league got knocked out and I won week 4.
Gotta love Fitzmagic.
There you go, man. That guy did his thing. All right, so we're gonna get back to the
Pick'em.
We're gonna get back to Pick'em here. The Miami Dolphins versus the Pittsburgh. Jesus Christ, New England Patriots. Yeah. Jesus Christ, sorry, forgive me. I'm taking Kim.
They have a thing against the Dolphins where they just can't win for some strange reason. So I'm gonna, or at least not can't win, but they have issues. So I'm gonna go Dolphins for a little upset special.
There we go. I've got Cam Newton dancing his way on into the end zone, so that's my pick right there. All right, so we've got the Indianapolis Colts and the Jack and Kill Jaguars.
Whew, I wonder who I'm going to pick. This is going to be a great Marlon Mack first half. Jonathan Taylor is going to wow a lot of people, so I'm going Colts.
There we go. I'm going Colts as well. I love Phillip Rivers. I love that offensive line in Indianapolis. I'm 100% good. I think I don't think Phillip Rivers has been behind an offensive line quite like this one. I think they're going to keep him upright, and I think he's gonna thrive off of it. So,
and he knows the scheme.
Yes, sir. So, in Jack and Kill, they're basically in a downward spiral, or whatever you want to call it.
Do you think Trevor Lawrence will hold off going to Jacksonville? I think he might.
You know what? I would take up homeschooling before I would go to Jack and Kill. I don't.
Well, none of those players want to play for a European team. I mean, their owner definitely has that on the table.
Let me ask you this. This is an interesting question. I'm glad you brought that up. With COVID-19 and the potential for other pandemics, do you move your team over to Europe?
I know the NFL wants to because of the money, but no player is going to want to go deal with those time zones what they'll do is they'll block the schedule 2 home, 2 away, 2 home, 2 away. to basically help the players. But even then, yeah, post-pandemic, I mean, that's tough. That's a lot of logistics.
The NFL frustrates me because when you think about this, the NFL, they talk about, oh, we got to protect the shield, we got to do this, and they come up with mindless crap that they do. Example, if it were me, we're in a pandemic, everybody's been social distancing like they're supposed to. Why not push the season back at least a month, if not longer? Get your OTAs in, get your camp in, and get maybe 1 or 2 games in. Okay, it looks like we do have, I think this might be T. Smitty here. Let's see who we've got here. Okay, you are on with Buck What You Heard. Who am I talking with?
Roll Tide. This is T. Smitty out here. Hey, get ready for America. Get ready for America's team, your Alabama Crimson Tide, to kick off late September.
You know what, man? You know what? I'm thinking about hanging up on you right now with your Roll Tide, buddy.
Hey, you think Tampa Bay's kicking bad? Look at Alabama. Nick Saban got 5 stars, first rounders everywhere. He can't get a kicker. They can't even kick a can down the street.
Bro, go for 2. This is my whole philosophy right now. Go for 2.
Yeah, one thing is, y'all talk about Trevor Lawrence. He should pull an Eli Manning, Justin Fields as well, and Trey Lance, because the quarterbacks we like, we say are good, went to good teams where they weren't the saviors. And they have better coaching, better organization. Jacksonville's a mess.
Yeah.
I don't know what's worse, Jacksonville's or Halle Berry marriages. I don't know. but if Trevor Lawrence goes there, they're building that team from scratch. His career's done because they're not going to win, and you judge by wins and losses.
Yeah.
And you still with a bad coach and a front office got a cough and no one wants to play for.
Now, here's a cool little scenario.
Look at Sam Darnold right now.
I got a cool scenario for me. You want to bear with me for a second, T. Smitty?
Sure.
What if Dabo Swinney went to Jacksonville?
Well,
that's realistic. That's more realistic than the coach they got now.
I mean, their coaching staff's going to get fired, and if you bring Dabo, that's how you get Trevor.
I don't think Dabo's an X's and O's guy.
No,
but if
he's
they
a
offer
culture
him
guy.
a shot, he should take it because he could always go back to college. And if he failed, these coaches who fail a lot of times don't have the quarterback. But if I'm him, I would go for it, even though I don't think he's the best X's and O's guy. He has an incredible staff that had somehow Brett Venables, the defensive coordinator, ain't taking a new job.
I think he'll follow.
Yeah, but one thing y'all talk about the Bucks, right? One thing, right? It's not the missed field goals with Matt Gay. It's the missed extra point. Because the average NFL game is decided by 3.5 points, and you go constantly chasing that point or those points. And those are 33-yard kicks. Remind me, if you correct me if I'm wrong, those are easy kicks for an NFL kicker.
They should be.
Once you miss those extra points, you're behind the 8 ball. Yep, and I think that's something. And the problem also, there's a lot of pressure and spotlight on this team.
Go for 2.
Matt Gay may not be able to handle it because kickers can't handle pressure for some reason at scrutiny. Look at Roberto Aguayo.
Well, T. Smitty, I want you to look at the league as a whole. How many rock solid kickers are there in the league right now in the NFL? Think about that.
Woo! Week 1 against the Saints, they have a rock solid kicker. They got a rock solid everything. Even the Ponzi scheme guy was GM. But I don't know what's going on. But that is like one thing also about this team that I think no one talks about. Will they clean up the penalties? They were number 1 in penalties last year. And, a lot of outside, holding, jumping. I'm gonna jump in here right now when you talk about penalties.
The year that the New England Patriots won the Super Bowl, I believe they were number 1 in penalties. I honestly believe they were, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And that was one of those things where it didn't matter because they executed and did what they needed to do. So I totally get what you're saying, but again, the Bucks, when you have a quarterback that you kind of have to depend on, and he has to do this and this and this, the penalties play a bigger part. But if you have somebody that can take care of the football and put the team in a position to succeed, I don't think the penalties will be. I think that Tom Brady will as an enforcer will clean some of that up as well. But I don't think the penalties play as huge a factor as they would in other scenarios, especially with the quarterback and the offense that we have right now.
And to be fair, I think there's also a Brady effect.
On that. And I think what happens is that, like, let's just be honest here. And I know I was in the military, and that's a perfect example here. Tom Brady, more people are going to listen to him because, hey, he's been there. Like every commander, every high ranking official, and got their accomplishments on the wall. So we're going to listen to that guy, and we say, okay, he's been there.
Unless it's Fort Hood.
This team needs that. Yeah, that's for that. And I think right now, Bruce Arians, he's 67, 68. He doesn't have that much time left. So I think that this was a worthy gamble, and I think this team's going to respond well to him because guess what? Tom Brady has seen it all. He's seen it all. He's been there. He came from a great organization. So he could also show them as a player. This is what we did to prepare as well because a lot of our great players like Evans and like Donovan Smith and Marpet, some of those guys, they never had vets show them the ropes. Like show them how to be pros their first year or two in the league. It's like last year and this year the first time they really had veterans.
Yeah, and keep in mind, people are buying into this. I mean, I would say the core of this team has bought into what they have right now, and I think that's what's put them at an advantage right now. And again, I believe that all rolls downhill. And I think if your quarterback is in a good position, your defense, your offense, special team, it all rolls downhill. And again, I believe that when he's called upon, I think that Matt Gay will be just fine. But that's my personal opinion.
And you know what? And I think right now, Bruce Arians, I'll say these two quick things and I'll run. I think Bruce Arians should give Matt Gay a hug and say, man, I believe in you.
That's what you need.
Just give him a hug. Say, I believe you. Look you in the eyes. I believe in you. Because nothing wrong with bringing in competition. Iron sharpens iron. But at the same time, say, hey, I believe in you. Yeah. But also, like, they're talking running Fournette, and I'll say this and I'll run. I don't think they should touch him. You got to give Rojo a shot. Yeah. You got to give him a legit shot because all I heard is how great he is. So let's give him a shot to show it because Dirk Tuttle screwed him year one.
Yep.
But give him a shot because I tell you one thing. The biggest thing of Rojo is not about long runs or anything like that. It's can he get you first downs at the end of the game to close out the game.
I think he can.
If he does that, hey, I'll pay him right now because the 49ers been doing that for years. I think that's the one thing this team's been missing. If they get that, sky's the limit, man.
Yep. I think if he's healthy, I think he'll be that guy.
Hey, you guys have a great day, man. Hey, you guys keep up the great work, man.
I appreciate it. T. Smitty,
you too.
A long-time listener for calling in the Buck. What you heard. Thank you so much, brother.
All right, peace, guys.
All right, guys. That was T. Smitty. I think Zach Jarvis is going to try to call in here in a little bit, but I'm with T. Smitty personally, and again, I know I may be of the minority here, but like I said, I think cohesiveness plays a huge part in a team being successful. It's not so much the level of talent, but how they play as a team. And I believe that, with Rojo, if he can stay healthy and play mistake-free football, I don't see a problem with keeping him around or keeping him as your number one running back.
Yeah, and then to adjust the penalties real quick, I think the Brady effect is going to have a big help there with a lot of referees because they have favoritism. I mean, the Seattle defense. I mean, remember when Seattle was the Legion of Boom, and all of them. I mean, they pressed, they got their hands clean and dirty, but they would have penalties called on them. And you see the Patriots doing the exact same thing. Nah. They do it the whole game. So why it has to be egregious for it to be called. So I think in the end, we're going to get some help. I think, yes, better discipline, but I also think Brady's going to sway some of the refs.
There you go. That could definitely be a thing. As you know how I feel about the NFL officiating, I'm not a huge fan. So
are you more of a fan of the replacement refs?
I actually like the XFL refs. If we're gonna talk about refs, that's kind of cool. My thing. So the next game up is the Cincinnati Bengals versus the L.A. I almost said San Diego. The L.A. Chargers, the L.A. unwanted Chargers.
I'm going to give Joe Burrow a couple weeks before I start believing him, so I'll go LA Chargers.
LA Chargers, all right.
By 6.
Okay, this is my game of the week right here. And I would love to say Tampa, but Tampa's been hyped up all offseason. My game of the week, the Arizona Cardinals versus the San Francisco 49ers, and I have the Arizona Cardinals winning. I think Kyler Murray is so underrated, and I do believe that they're going to do some damage.
All right, I'm gonna go oppose. I'm gonna take the pass rush. So I'm gonna go 49ers.
Yeah, that I get you, man. They got rid of DeForest Buckner, and again, Quan Alexander. You still don't know what kind of commodity you have with Quan Alexander. I don't know. I feel like what Arizona has done and the way they've improved. I think that they are in a position to actually win their division, or at least compete for their division.
To me, it just comes down to the O-line for them, and their D-line a little bit as well, but they got Chandler Jones, so that's at least helpful. But I do not trust their tackles at all.
There you go. All right, so we are on opposing sides on that. All right, and the game of the hour, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. Because I'm a Bucs fan, I'm going straight homer here. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning this game against the New Orleans Saints.
I've been going back and forth with Evan Winter about this game for 3 months now. And he's been telling me Saints. I've been Bucs. And then this whole Kamara thing has started to sway me to not lean the Saints in any sort of way.
We have a caller, so let's see who this is.
All right.
Okay, you are live on Buck What You Heard. Who am I talking with?
Yo, what up? This is Zach.
What's going on, Zach? How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. This is so much easier than typing in the messenger, isn't it?
Yeah, the thing is, I was eating food, so I was not trying to hear y'all munching my food while I was on the phone.
So what do you want to talk about, man?
Bro, this Bucs ball, man. Shit. There's so much to talk about.
So what's got you excited? What's got you the most excited about this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team this year?
Man, I don't even know where to begin. The Brady, obviously.
Right.
The Gronkowski thing's nice to have. But the thing, I'm just ready to see what my boy Chris Godwin can do and Mike Evans can do with Brady.
That's a great point.
They did good with Jameis Winston, and I'm not trying to down Jameis Winston, but he always missed his deep passes sometimes. And I feel like they could have had better years or better seasons with Winston can actually hit on those deep connections.
Yeah.
But Winston always had issues with it until last year he started hitting more. But when he was under Dirk Cutter, that man missed multiple deep passes and all that. I don't know if y'all remember those days, but those games are hard to watch.
Yeah. So you've been listening to camp. You've been on social media. You've gotten to hear some of the press conferences. You've gotten to hear some of the things.
I listen to everything. I'm a UPS driver, so I'm by myself all the time. So I just have my headphones in. I listen to the podcast, Cannon Fire podcast.
That's greatly appreciated. So, for you, when you're looking at all this stuff, all these new pieces that have come into place, you got your defense back, you've got so many different things going on. What sticks out to you as a difference maker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers overall, when you look at the overall team?
The difference of the whole team?
Yeah. What's that difference maker that's going to put the Buccaneers ahead of everybody else or make them that much of a better team?
Well, it starts off with Tom Brady because he's a good quarterback still at his age, and he's also a coach. And he can help the receivers adjust to a little thing. I listened to his press conferences, and he's always in so much detail about everything, playing at Ray J, throwing into the sun, what passes you can and cannot do. I never heard a quarterback talk about that. It's just little details of everything on the offense. And the defensive side, obviously last year the number one rush defense, and I heard I know they won't even do better than they did last year, and they can do that because we pretty much got everybody back. besides Carl Nassib.
Yeah.
There's just the Bucks. The Bucks to me, they got so much talent. I mean, like it's everywhere. Like Sean Murphy Bunting is a good corner. He's a good stepping stone. Carlton Davis is emerging to his own solid block down corner. If everyone stays healthy, I can see the Bucks doing a really good deep playoff run. The only concern I have for them is the kicking game. I mean, I know Matt Gay, he's consistent for the most part, but like it seems like he misses the important kicks he needs to make. And Bucks lost two games last year, the Giants and the Falcons, just because he missed a couple field goals, I think.
Now let me ask you this, because this is kind of interesting to me. Do you feel like if the game situation was different, where you weren't relying on your kicker as much, would he be as successful? Would he be more successful if he wasn't relied on as much, where you had an offense that was a little bit more efficient than what they were?
All right. What do you mean by say it again? Like
okay, so you saw like certain situations, certain scenarios where there were interceptions, there were short into the field, drives that stalled out that shouldn't have stalled out, little things like that, just little things, you know, as far as the offense goes. If they were able to capitalize on a lot of those plays that they weren't able to last year, do you really feel like that the kicking situation would be as bad as or as dismal as what we're making it out to be right now?
I mean, there are certain times in that last year I noticed where the Bucks should have got touchdowns and it got called back, and we had to settle for 3 and we'll miss it. So I mean, yeah, definitely that does go into a big factor. But I mean, if you're inside the 40 as an NFL kicker, you got to make those kicks.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you can't no excuses. Like, I mean, you're an NFL kicker.
That you're spot on. That's exactly right. You got one job. You need to go out and execute your job.
Yeah, man. I mean, but besides the kicking aspect, I think the Bucks are all on the line for a great year. Once they get this chemistry down, I think they might start off slow, like because it's Tom Brady's first time ever getting to a new offensive scheme and all that. But I feel like once they start clicking, I mean, I think our team's going to be like top 3 in the NFL, like hands down.
All right. Well, you know, I'm going to try. I'm going to try something different. Ken, you want to jump in here? I don't know if I lost Ken or not. Listen, if you don't mind, if you just have like 2 seconds, I want to see if you would want to, Zach, try and play in the hot seat for me. I'm going to hit you with like 10 questions in a minute.
Oh, yeah. I know about this.
You know about the hot seat, huh?
Yes,
all right.
Sir.
So let me get I'm gonna fire up the clock right here, and I'm gonna get these questions out here. And you know, you're that lucky caller, and I figured I would hit you with some questions here. And so what we'll do, we'll go through some of these questions here, and you know, just kind of get your answers. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask the first question, and then I'll give you a chance to answer it, and I'll go ahead and start the clock at that time. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right. First question, Madden 2K21, buy or sell?
And sell.
Bucks will beat the Saints, buy or sell?
Buy.
Matt Gay will be the Bucks starting kicker game 1, buy or sell?
Buy.
Dare will get cut by the Buccaneers, buy or sell?
That's a tough one.
You can skip it and go to the next one. Sell. Okay. The Bucks will try bringing in another running back. Buy or sell?
Sell.
Earl Thomas will get signed before the beginning of the season. Buy or sell?
Buy.
O.J. Howard will receive for over 800 yards. Buy or sell?
Sell.
Buffalo Bills will make the playoffs. Buy or sell?
Ooh.
Oh, man, time ran out. But I'll let you go ahead. I'll get you the last couple of questions. Joe Burrow will be Rookie of the Year. Buy or sell? I didn't lose you, did I?
Sell.
Oh, okay. All right. So, and back to the other question: the Buffalo Bills will make the playoffs. Buy or sell? That's a tough one, right? I'm sorry, you were breaking up a little bit. I hope I didn't lose you. If I lost you, you want to, because I can't hear you right now, you may want to call back in. But, you know, that, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh, okay. You're cutting in and out. I can't hear you. Ken, I haven't heard from you for a while, man. How you doing, man? You good? Oh, okay, hold on. Let's see. I think I may have lost you here. So what I'll do is I will try to get you back on here. I'm going to hang up. You want to call back in again, and we'll finish up your call. Give me 1 second. So, Ken, you still there? Why am I losing Ken? I think I lost you. I'm not hearing your audio, brother. I think you're muted. Did you mute? Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can get you back on here. Okay. Hey, thanks for calling back in. I can hear you now. So you still there?
Hello?
Oh, okay, there we go. I hear you now.
Oh, what's weird?
Oh, yeah, you're kind of breaking up a little bit. But I wanted to get your final thoughts, man. Thanks for calling in, by the way. I really appreciate that.
You do
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're breaking up really, really bad right now. Let's see. Yeah, I can hear every other word almost. Yeah, you're breaking up real bad. Yeah, try to call back in here again. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the call, but try to call back in again, and I definitely want to get your final thoughts. Okay, Ken, can you hear me? No, I can't hear you, bro. I don't know what it is. Oh, so everything's falling apart right now. But anyway, hey, this is pretty much all the time we had right now. I didn't really have a whole lot. I'm sorry. This is kind of our Buck What You Heard preseason right now. We're trying to work through all the little hiccups and everything like that. We will get a full show in next week. We will be back on this time Wednesday at 7 p.m. I may not have mentioned this, but I'm mentioning it now. Ken Barrett will be the co-host of Buck What You Heard. My guy, I love his energy, high football IQ, man, and I think that we will work well together. So look forward to seeing Ken on Buck What You Heard throughout the season and moving forward. Oh, man, we got another caller here. Hold on 1 second. Okay, you're calling in to Buck What You Heard.
Okay. All right, it's Zach again. I tried using my girlfriend's phone. See if it worked any better.
All right, there we go. All right, man. Thanks for calling back in. But yeah, hey, I will say you did good, man. You did really good on that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, what do you want my thoughts on?
Yeah, I wanted to get your final thoughts before we roll out of here. And I want to thank you for calling in. You are always welcome to call into the show. That's what Buck What You Heard is about. I want to get the listeners on the phone. I want to get them on here live. I want to hear what you guys got to say.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds cool with me. I like the channel and everything. Good content.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, and you guys make it possible, man. You guys may not agree with me. If you don't agree with me, that's good. That makes it even better if you call in and you don't like something I'm saying. You're always welcome to call in. I think that's what makes a show important, just for you guys to have your voice and nobody to be critical of what you think about rooting for this team. So thank you so much for calling in. But, yeah, let me get your final thoughts before we roll out of here.
All right, let's get it. What you want to know?
Yeah, just
Like
it
a
just
team or-
it's for you what you think about the team moving forward. Just whatever.
All right, well, for this year, in my opinion, I think it's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah, there you go. Wait a
Because
minute.
I
Wait a
don't
minute.
see-
Leonard Fournette is officially a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
No, you're
Shut
joking.
the front door. Co-host Ken.
You're lying to me.
Ken, not Shaq Barrett, just posted this. That this is a fact right here. That
Oh my!
Leonard,
Well,
Leonard
I just
Fournette.
lost that by yourself, man. Can I go back on my answer or no?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Go back on your answer, man. This is the time right here to do that. Leonard Fournette.
I checked in Bleacher Report. Oh my God!
Jeez,
So
Louise.
this is one
man.
thing I'm excited about now. This just changed my whole everything. Because now we got the ground, like the power back, and now we got the speed and Rojo.
That is scary.
I remember a couple years ago, when the Panthers had Jonathan Stewart and DeAndre Williams and Mike Tober and all that.
Yeah.
It was speed and power. Like that was
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was good.
Dude,
But now we got Mike
you are good luck. You got to call in next week. You're good luck.
Oh, if that makes it good luck, I'll do it every day. Shit.
All right.
We got Leonard Fournette now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
Leonard
you know
Fournette,
what?
Rob
Well,
Gronkowski, Chris Dalton, Mike Evans.
Buck Skull
What do you
Gang.
do?
Buck Skull Gang in the house is 3-1 in free agency picks this year.
Well, he needs to keep bringing them.
Yep,
so we can keep
he
getting them.
needs to keep bringing them. He only missed on Adams. Is the only guy he missed on.
Jamal Adams.
Yep. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm going to jump off of here, man. We've been on for almost 2 hours, and I really appreciate you calling in. Again, this is a voice for you guys. Call in whenever you want to, and I want you guys to appreciate the show because you guys make the show what it is. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, nice talking to you. I'll definitely call him back next time you go on.
All right, and we will be on every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
All right, man.
All right,
Nice
my
talking
brother.
to you.
Take it easy.
All right.
Unbelievable. Ken, did we lose you? What's going on here? I don't know what's happening here. Ken, I can't hear you. Lost me for good. I don't know what's happening with Ken's audio. I think we lost his audio. We're going to work on that. We will have him back next week. But guys, I'm getting ready to jump off of here. And I want to thank everybody for coming on. You guys are greatly appreciated. And we will do this again. Just breaking news. It looks like Leonard Fournette is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. So that was wild. We're gonna fix Ken. We're gonna get his audio working. He is a permanent part of Buck What You Heard, and I'm glad to have him on board. Ken, thank you so much. I know you can't say anything. I'll say it for you. He thinks that Gene is the greatest podcaster in the universe, and that's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. But we will get you back on here again, man. Thank you, and everybody. Thank you so much.